Hello, this is Abram, and welcome back to the Success Podcast, where you will learn everything you need to know to be successful physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. In this episode, I'm just going to talk about what I've been thinking about, like I do in every single episode of this thing here. But I'm going to be talking about making over $100,000 in a single month, managing versus growing a team, and healthy versus unhealthy coping mechanisms. So let's start out with healthy versus unhealthy coping mechanisms. So one of the things I've had commented towards me a lot is like, holy crap, you work so much. I've never met anyone that works as much as you, or I've never seen anyone that's like that driven. I've never, like all these things. And I don't work, or I wasn't working a bunch because I was like, oh, I'm hardcore, like, Gary V grind every day. I can do this, like rah rah, whatever that might be. I was working because I don't want to be sad. It's like the more I talk to like people that are way more successful than me, and I learn from like these people that are just doing incredible things with their lives. They like all have like mommy or daddy issues, or they're going through divorce, or they have like, the point is they got problems. They got issues that they're going through, and they're not really different than like you know the everyday person, to the extent that the everyday person could not have some level of success that's above where they are. So when I think about healthy versus unhealthy coping mechanisms, I think that we just cope with life in whatever way helps us get through life. So sometimes that could be really unhealthy things like being addicted to food, video games, sex, drugs, whatever it might be. These unhealthy things that can actually stop us from living a life that's worth living, because we're just basically chasing like this kind of drug hit versus trying to do something that allows us to stay happy. One of the things that works really, really well to end up staying happy and to cope in a very healthy way is to structure your life in a way where you can add things to your life that you look forward to doing, and then intentionally delay gratification with those things. So let's talk about work. How can I actually do that, and why is that important? If you were to tell a kid, like, hey, tomorrow's Christmas, you're getting presents, they're going to be freaking excited the entire night, and they're like, can like jump off the walls. They're so freaking excited. That's dopamine being released. They're like really excited just thinking about the thing. They could literally get a lump of coal the next day, and that excitement would have still been there, because it's in the anticipation of something, or it could be the best gift ever. And that excitement will wear off, and that's true with everyone and everything that we do. With people that work a lot, and I'm just going to speak from personal experience. For people that work a lot, to give you an idea, there was at least a 2-year stretch where I worked literally every single day, 7 days a week. And I would put in anywhere from like an 8 to a 16-hour workday. Somewhere in between there is probably the average. And it wasn't healthy. It wasn't good for like relationships. My kids definitely could have seen me more. I definitely could have made more money if I were to work more effectively versus just working a bunch. But there's also good things that happen with it. I made more money than I ever made before. And, there's good things that happen. My credit score kept going up. We're able to like buy a house, and like there's good things that happen because of the monetary part of it. One of the bad things that happened was that you take this never ending feeling of like not being good enough, and that can help drive you to be a more successful person in the workplace. So it drove me to actually be this person that is like constantly going. I got a goal. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there, and I am just going to hit it hard, and I'm going to go for it. So I managed a sales team. And we hit goals that the company hadn't hit before at my location, and it was like freaking awesome. And then COVID hits. And then what do? I start tail spinning. I went from like working all the time to not working because my job just laid me off. So I just started tail spinning. Depression started sinking in. I already knew that working was a coping mechanism. And I'm like, all right, this freaking sucks. What I should have done, looking back on hindsight, and what I do now and what is much more healthy, is instead of trying to fight my workaholic tendencies, instead of trying to fight my natural psychological like things that are baked in, I started using those to my advantage. So what do? I start working from home. I stopped running my business through another company. I run my business through myself. And don't have anyone else inside of it. That forces me to work a lot more to make it happen. But since I'm working from home, see my wife, see my kids, I can have a lot more time with them. We can make a lot more because I'm not splitting the pie, super unevenly with the company. The company is way too big for me to make, real money. But the other end of that is that I'm not only working, but I'm working in a way that doesn't have a massive potential downside. So if I were to work too much, I'm a health and fitness coach, and I have a health and fitness business that has a 100% guarantee that my clients will see the results they want to see physically, mentally, and emotionally. And that's a very big thing to put in. So we're selective with who we let in, but that also means that I have to deliver at a very high level for my clients. That forces me to stay up to date and educated on everything that's going on with health, fitness, physical, mental, emotional health, to be able to help my clients become physically, mentally, and emotionally and hormonally strong enough to handle whatever life throws their way. So it doesn't matter how much I work on this. The worst case scenario is I'm making someone else's life exponentially better. So what's going to happen? Worst case scenario, I help too many people. That's a great worst case scenario if you ask me, because I'm still using my workaholic tendencies. I'm still working a bunch, still, constantly listening, reading. I still am going through 1 to 3 books a week, listening to podcasts, doing these different things that are keeping me educated and up to date on different things that pertain to my business and my personal life. So I stopped trying to fight it. And I instead try to figure out how can I structure my life in a way that allows me to keep doing that. That's exactly what I do with clients. And that's why it works well. And that's what I try to do with the people that I hire in my team. So let's talk about managing versus like growing and leading a team. This is something I needed to do for my business specifically, because what ended up happening was I was running my business and I am basically like doing literally everything, which anyone that has started a business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like the accountant, you're the salesperson, you're the fulfillment coach, you're the SEO person, you're the website designer, you're the ads person, you're the public speaker, you're the one booking your events, you're doing like literally everything. And I was really good at a couple of those, like client delivery, freaking like we are the best. And being able to come off as a person that is not like a scary person or someone that, I've never been associated with like a scam or anything like that, because one, my offer works, but two, because I always came from a place of long-term thinking for me, my clients, and my business. So when you're thinking about managing and growing a team, you also need to get people that are having that long-term thinking versus short-term. So if I only hired people like, personal trainers that work for me, health coaches, advisors, people on the technical side, if I was only hiring people that just wanted to fulfill a very specific thing and they didn't care about like helping me or helping the women that join the program or helping like the different aspects of like everyone succeeding, if they didn't care about everyone else's success long term, then I would never hire them, because it might not be a problem in the short term. It will definitely be a problem in the long term. So when you're hiring and you're just looking to manage people versus hiring to grow your business, grow your team, you have to think about it totally differently. When you're going through interviews, you have to think and you have to ask, what are your goals? What is in it for you? Like, as much as people come in for interviews and you're interviewing people, I've interviewed hundreds of people. If you interview people and you are not constantly thinking and you're not tuned in to WIIFM, you are never going to be successful in growing your team with people that can help skyrocket your business. And what WIIFM is they're thinking, what's in it for me? And that's exactly how you have to think, because if what's in it for them long term is massive benefit, of course they want to join my team. Why would you not want to join the team where for the rest of your life you're going to have a better future? And that is what you need to think when you're thinking about managing versus growing a team. If you're just managing people and you really don't care about like their success, you don't care about these different things, you don't care about clients, you don't care about these things, you might have short-term success. You will never have long-term success without long-term thinking. And that's why I never try to stick into managing the day-to-day. Instead, I just hire people that are smart. I work with smart people. My clients are smart people. And I just work in a way that allows me to not have to like do the basic things. I've made that mistake before. I'll never make that mistake again. I'm always going to hire people that can just be really freaking good. And I'm only going to take clients that are going to do really freaking well into what I do, because what ends up happening, I end up getting people in my business that are seeing that their help is contributing to my clients' success. My clients are seeing phenomenal results. That makes me feel good as a person, and I can keep working and living my life in the best possible way that I can. So when you're thinking about like growing that with that long-term thinking, this leads into making over 6 figures a month. So if you want to make over $100,000 in a single month in revenue, or cash collected and everything else, if you want to do this, it is not going to happen because you are the person that is doing literally everything. It might, maybe if you're like this high end, like, there's a book called Small Giants where they talk about like these like businesses that have like 3 people and they do over like $1 million a year. All right, great. Those are like outliers. But if you look at like the most successful people in history, they've all just worked on making other people's lives better exponentially. You look at Howard Schultz with Starbucks. I mean, I'll put the personal views aside. I'm just talking about like financially successful and like their business clearly has done well. Starbucks has clearly done well, even though they have scandal after scandal, and we won't get into that. Or you look at Warren Buffett with Berkshire Hathaway, and you look at Steve Jobs, you look at like all these different people that are like really big in their space, and they did really well. And every single one of them did not have 100% control of everything. I mean, Steve Jobs got kicked out of his own freaking company. I mean, how insane is that? But you will never go farther, longer without support. So if you want to scale your business to a place where it is generating more and more revenue and it is doing better and better, you have to think, how can I get my clients long-term results? How could I give my employees long-term results? And how can I give myself long-term fulfillment here? Because if we're all thinking long-term and we all have long-term in mind and we keep acting and doing long-term, it's just a matter of time before it will scale up to something that's bigger. And you never have a bottleneck where someone is burnt out because they're doing this thing, that thing, and the other thing. Instead, you have people that are specialized in each different department. And if someone wants to go on vacation, it doesn't bankrupt the whole company. So if you want to get ahead in life, you want to feel good, let's recap the things that you want to do. You want to add something into your day that you can look forward to doing every single day. You want to delay gratification with that thing. You want to think about what's in it for your employees, what's in it for your clients, what's in it for you, long-term versus short-term. And that's how you accomplish everything that we talked about in this podcast. Hope you like this podcast. Please like it on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. If this is on some other platform, follow me on there too. Hope you like this, and thank you for watching.